Welcome back to SOS. I'm Stats Arm Badass. Here I am, rocking like a hurricane. Alright. What? It's the song, bro. Come on, chill. Guy, gal, whoever you are. Yeah, don't take some of the stuff I do so seriously, because some people get offended easily. Don't get offended. Please, don't get offended. Alright. Moving on. I just had to address the elephant in the room. Alright. So, SHTF series. I'm doing this one. I'm not sure what I want to call this one yet. I thought about calling it Outlaws because I do kind of want to touch on a lot of different things. It's usually random when I do these videos. I mix it up and I kind of just go off the top of my head of things I think about. And instead of making another video called Things I Think About, it's the SHTF series. And I'll continue this forever. So today's part of the series, Outlaws, I want to address vulnerability and your risk outweighing the reward in a grid up. And then when a grid goes down, the risk drops. So there's no risk, more reward. The only risk you've got is people like me. They wouldn't want to approach my house, right? You know, trying to steal something from me, trying to break in and take what I got. But they're going to be armed too. They're going to be ready. They'll be ready to kick your door in and take what they can, or bust through your window and take what they can. And they might be jacked up on something, right? Keywords I have to use. I have to, you know, censorship and all that stuff. But anyway, they might be jacked up, right? On Mountain Dew. Might be drinking too many soda pops. So they bust open your window and they just go to town. Now, after they've had too many Mountain Dews and they come into your home, the average person on Mountain Dew, okay, I'll stop now. I'll stop with the jokes. YouTube, I swear. I can't even say what I want to say anymore. It's getting ridiculous. But I will continue. They're jacked up on drugs. Alright? Putting bullets into them doesn't stop them. Alright? The average person, it's not like the movies. People don't just go down. Right? The best way to protect yourself will be a gun. Alright? It's going to be a gun. But shooting said gun, you could be the outlaw Josie Wales. You could be Billy the Kid. And shooting from the hip all day long and hitting aspirins out of the sky. You know, someone could toss aspirins up. You're beyond clay pigeons, you know. You could be that good, but in a serious scenario where it's chaotic, in a real gunfight, you are not going to shoot like that. When it's calm, you're on the range, and you're putting bullets down range, sure, all day long, I can hit a quarter with this. Alright? But in a serious, when my stress level is high, when my adrenaline is going, and all that stuff, and my hand gets a little shaky, I'm not the same person. I can't focus the same way. If I'm blurred out from violence and just chaos, if things get blurry, and you'll get that tunnel vision, things get blurry, things get shaky, and you're not going to be the same person. You can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to yourself. It's not going to happen like that. The best of people, the best of people out there will tell you the same thing. It is not like that. And it's not going to happen like that. And that little bit of training doesn't go as far as when you're in a stressful situation. You can unload an entire magazine from, you know, your Glock 19. You know, you've got a Glock 19, 32 round mag or whatever it is, or 29. I don't know which one you have, but you can unload an entire magazine on some, not even hit them. And then on average, you're hitting paper targets all day long. It's not the same in an actual gunfight. And these people don't have the same kind of aura as your average person. So that's another thing that people are not used to. Alright? SHTF, grid down, okay? You dialed 911, no one's coming. World Without Rule of Law, official. And a little slash martial law going on there. just saying, I'm going to throw it in there. It's just a little extra. But let's just say you dial, there's no dial tone. Now, you know those phones that are wireless, but they still plug into the wall? Those don't work without power. So a lot of people do have those now. That's for the people that still have a phone in their house. Let's just say that. So if you do have one of those, one recommendation, swap it out for old school. If you do have a house phone, do that. It's just one more step up. At least you've got one more line of communication that will work. Some cases when the power goes out, phone lines don't even work. So that's another thing. Most situations when power goes out, no one has a means of charging their cell phone. So cell phones go dead. Now if you've got an old school flip phone, those last for a really long time. They do. Power goes out, usually you might not get a signal because all the sources that are giving those antennas signal to broadcast your signal, they're down. Stuff to think about, folks. It's just, I know I'm layering it on. I don't really want to. I don't like getting people, I don't do fear-mongering on here, okay? I don't do the fear-mongering. I don't dig it. I don't like it when people do it to me, but it is stuff that just, you know, your brain housing group needs. Okay. Gangs. There's so many different types. You know, there's anything from Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings to you name it, right? There's your biker gangs, your one percenters, your patch over dudes, you know, all these guys, you know, they've got different types of cliques. I was a motorcycle instructor for the Marine Corps for years. For years, I'm not 4 years, but for years, right? And I was also a club president, and I got to be involved in a lot of listening and learning into that category. There's been situations where I was in California and, you know, Mongols rode right past me, or the Hells Angels would cruise with me. They didn't know who I was. I'm just a dude trying to get to work, but they're just riding along, right? No one's messing with me. But do you, in a situation in real life, people like those types of people are very loyal to their groups, okay? These people are very loyal to their groups. And in a combat situation, let's just throw it out there. I mean, I've known Marines, soldiers, you know, a lot of different people out there that are not, you know, you don't get that kind of discipline out of them. The kind of discipline that these guys are going to have. They're going to go to the next level to get what you got, right? I'm not saying that all these people are criminal, because some of them aren't. Some are just doctors and lawyers, right? But there's a lot of them out there that are career criminals, and that's what they do, and that's what they're good at. And if it just became a world where everything got flipped upside down, their world isn't going to be as hard to make it. It's going to be easier for people like that to make it than people that have never done it before, have never been in that scenario before. I'm not saying those people are like, oh, that's what you should be doing. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Because there are people out there that are going to get desperate. They're just a desperate person, and they're going to take what they need. You know, there are desperate people out there in desperate times, and they have to fight to get what they need. And then they're going to encounter people that have more experience at fighting to get what they need, and or doing everything illegally and not care. You know, they're not going to have an inch of care. But these are things to think about. That's all I'm doing. I'm just throwing out some more stuff, more ideas, more stuff for you to, you know, soak up. All right. I didn't think I was going to do that today, but I figured I'd throw that in there. But let's shift gears. Shall we? Shall we shift gears? All right. Grid's down. Line of defense. You've got a firearm to protect your house. Now, I've had some good advice over the years from making videos. I did a video a while back, and it's called the 3Ds. You know, deter, delay, defend was the 3Ds. And I had a recommendation from Pastor Joe Fox to add a D. He said to add one to the front of that, detect. So detect, deter, delay, defend. That's how that would go. Oh man, I tell you what, when it comes to military acronyms and stuff, I kind of like, wait a minute. That's how that goes. All right. But yes, that is some good advice. Because like he says, you can't defend your home from your mailbox, right? So you're going to have to get out and patrol your neighborhood a little bit. If you're living in one of these top-notch neck of the woods, and it's a community, but they're just a little bit better off, better homes, you know. I don't live in one of those places. We live in a house from the 40s. I think it's actually older than that, to be honest with you. But this place has a lot of issues. Bad. Especially in the wintertime, it gets bad. Ugh, the drafts. Alright, so anyway. That being said, if you live in one of those royal communities, like a very nice community or whatever, and I'm not knocking you, but they know, you know, people out there that, you know, ride around these areas, man, these people got some nice stuff. I bet you they got some nice stuff. And they also place you in a generalization, right? They generalize. They assume most of those people don't know how to defend themselves. I didn't say that. I'm just saying most people would assume that, you know, I bet you he doesn't blah, blah, blah. When all along, you know, he's Chuck Norris or something, you know what I mean? See what I did there? I helped you out. You know, I gave you that. But chances are they might keep in the back of their mind. Security cameras are down. There's no footage. There's no nothing. There's no power. There's no alarms. There's no phone calls. Perfect opportunity to go in. Now, this goes back to the 4 Ds. I'm going to add that D on there. This goes back to those 4 Ds, right? First, you're going to have to detect it, so you're going to have to be active in your community. You can't let something like this, like a power outage from a hurricane or whatever it is, happen to you, distract you from, you know, what's going to happen next. You're going to have to know Janice over here. You're going to have to know Jenny, Billy Bob, Jimmy, you know, whoever these people are in your neighborhood. You're going to have to get familiar with them. And if all the power is out, what if you're the only dude with a generator and can actually recharge batteries? Use it to your advantage. You can't just sit there and plug everybody's cell phones in, right? All right, you're charged up. Okay, good. You could. But what if low tech? What about some low tech? What about some two-way radios? Hand them out to your community. I'm just throwing it out there. I keep a handful of them. I'll prove it one day. I'll do a video about it. But I've got a stack of radios. And in a situation, something like that happens, all I do is just make a round. Hey, I need you to take this. If anything happens, give me a call. I might call you if something happens to me. Keep in mind, and everybody's together, right? Everyone's together. I know this sounds ridiculous, but at the same time, it actually does make sense. Everyone can hear the same voice. If it come from me, 9 people just heard me say something. So if 9 people just heard me say something, those 9 other people are going to come and see what's going on there. Just saying. It's something to think about. One more idea. Look, I don't give you a bunch of scenarios of chaos without giving you some sort of remedy, okay? I don't like doing that. I don't fearmonger. All right, but that would be a great remedy. Have some radios. The radios are cheap. They're just regular two-way radios. You've seen like all these other movies out there. What, E.T.? Didn't E.T. have some radios? E.T. Phone Home. But anyway, if you've got all these radios and stuff like that, you can pass them out to your buddies in your community, communicate with one another. You know, hey, I'm cooking hamburgers. Come over and get something to eat. Whatever it is, you know. But you're still communicating, right? It doesn't have to be all chaos all the time. But in a grid down type power outage scenario, all of you can communicate with one another. Just saying. If you all decided to stay and it's just a power outage type thing, then if someone comes along, you can defend yourself. Now, in a just regular world without rule of law type scenario where it's been a natural disaster and you're just having to make it a month or 2 months, that's perfect for that scenario. I'm not saying get out in your yard and start digging holes and putting spikes coming up, you know, going all Rambo and Commando. This isn't Rambo First Blood. It's just a standard power outage type thing, okay? Now, in a post-apocalyptic scenario, then you could go Rambo. Mission is go. Just hit it. Go out there. Light is green. Of Go out there and just green light that whole place. And then there you go. When they start coming in, boom, they just start falling on their face. And, you know, just be sure to take out the trash. You don't want it to start stinking. So, I think that about covered all that. But just make sure to have a decent light. And a shotgun is always good. I don't care how many people want to talk trash about shotguns and judges. I'll go ahead and throw it out there because I'll be the guy. Because in a firefight, I'm just saying, there's been people out there with entire magazines to just dump on a person and they didn't even hit them once. I'm just saying. But if you're calm and cool, you know, that kind of person, the training, right? Practice stress levels, your stress levels going up, being stressed out, not trying to get yourself worried or anything. Find that guy that you don't like and tell him to go shooting with you. Now, I'm not saying anything in a bad way. I'm just, maybe he'll annoy you enough that that'll raise your stress level up. I don't know. Just hire someone to throw things at you while you're on the range. Okay, look, I'm trying to be funny. But a shotgun is always a good option for your home. Especially if you wake up groggy and you're tired. You're waking up in the middle of the night and you hear something and your radio went off or whatever. And, you know, Billy said, you know, people are here or there. You didn't. You're the first responder. You're the person that says, someone's in my home, guys. You know, someone's here. That type of thing. If you're the one making the announcement. And then your neighbor walks around, hey, get away from their house. Now, keep in mind, these people have guns too. So it's always good to not miss. But the thing is, when you hit them, sometimes they're not going down. They're not going down without a fight, right? They're not even going to notice it. Most people that get shot don't even notice they've been shot. They're bleeding all over the place. Now, it takes a long time. Well, not a long time, but unless you hit a major artery, it's going to take a lot longer for a person to bleed out. And they're still going to be putting up a fight. They're still going to be fighting you. They're still going to be going to get you. But just keep that in mind. Especially if they're jacked up on Mountain Dew and soda pop. Okay, I said I wouldn't do that again, but I had to do it one more time because I thought it was funny. I hope this helps. Maybe this gives you something else to think about. But a shotgun won't miss, but you'll have more opportunities. You're going to have to pump another one. You're not going to be able to stop with just one. It's never a one pop shot. It's going to have to be a few more times. A lot of people don't keep that in mind. And then a lot of people don't have the nerve to pull the trigger. Then that's another thing to think about. You know, are you ready? Can you? If someone breaks in your home and threatens to kill your kids or your wife, or you're the wife and you're the one looking after the dude because the dude doesn't like guns. Just saying. I know people that are like that, right? There are people like that. There ain't nothing wrong with that. There's just, it's different worlds, different folks, right? Different world, different folks. If we were all the same, life would be boring. Really boring. Just saying. All right. I hope this helps. You're watching SOS. I'm Staff Sergeant Bass. Have a beautiful, fabulous, fantastic rainbow, unicorn, monkey cup day. And take it easy.